G'day guys, and welcome back to And Then There Were None. So last time we were snooping around people's rooms while they were having dinner, and we're going to get back to doing that. This is the bathroom. Must be a door on this side. Oh, the doctor's room. So we are back in a little circle.
Nothing out of order in here. I'd best not take anything, though. I'm sure he would notice.
Okay, alright. Guess we should head downstairs then? I swear I've been in all these rooms now. Yeah. Let's head downstairs and see what happens, shall we? They suspect the kitchen, no doubt. Oh no, we haven't gone through these guys' rooms yet, have we? What's this? Letter for Rogers.
I copied the contents into my notebook.
Rogers' letter, where is it? Rogers, this is Owen and I will be detained in London this evening. Please do the best you can in our absence. The good lady tells me she wanted the roast for dinner with potatoes and vegetables and the treacle tart for dessert. You find everything you need in the pantry. So drinks afterwards in the front parlour. You already have the gramophone record. Please play the side label hello once everybody is comfortably settled in the parlour. Be along as soon as possible, Ulrich Norman Owen. Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna be the way we think, is it? What's this? Small packet of
Nothing else to
sardines.
see about that.
Yeah. And we've got this letter, I guess is their employment letter maybe? Yes.
I copied the contents into my notebook.
Yeah, Roger's letter. Rogers, this is Owen and I will be giving a little house party this weekend. 8 guests. Sure you'll manage. The larder is well stocked and this crowd shouldn't give too much trouble. We'll arrive early Friday so that Mrs. Owen can draw up a suitable menu. Hang on the accompanying package for me. It's a gramophone record. I'll want to play it for my guests. You and Owen. Interesting. Things are getting quite curious when it comes to Mr. Owen here. Quite curious. In the kitchen. See if I can listen in. Have his little look around.
Aha! With my ear against the door, the conversation becomes quite clear. Wine, Doctor? No, thank you, Rogers. I never touch alcohol. Except for sterilizing wounds or instruments, of course.
I tried to collect some apples from an orchard on the island, but a bee stung me. I'm afraid I dropped the basket and ran. No need to apologize. I myself am dreadfully allergic to bees, wasps, hornets. I'm sorry to hear there are bees here. Oh, you must take care. There's all sorts of those bee house things. What do you call it?
An apiary.
Oh, I thought that was for monkeys.
Ethel!
Miss Claythorne. We've never met, but I do seem to recall your name.
Oh?
Yes. From when I stayed at that stuffy old hotel near St. Trednick. Do you know it?
No. No, I don't think so.
Really? How extraordinary. I was so shocked.
Narracott says he's not Fred Fane, but his brother. It may well be, but he bears watching.
Seems like such a nice man.
They said the same thing about Stevenson, the child murderer. I confess I've never met our host, Mr. Owen. What kind of a man is he? Rogers?
We haven't seen the Owens either, sir. We were only engaged a week ago by letter and asked to make the house ready.
So no one has actually met the Owens.
How extraordinary.
I, for one, will have some sharp questions for the Owens when they do arrive.
Yes, yes, quite. Do we keep listening?
Aha! With my ear against the door,
I hope it
the
doesn't just
conversation becomes
replay that
quite
whole
clear.
scene again.
Did anyone else see the poem over the fireplace?
10 little sailor boys. Yes, I saw it.
And here before us as the centerpiece of our table are the 10 little sailor boys themselves, all looking correct and polished.
I like a neat and tidy house, Your Honor.
Robson, the man who built this house, was a sailor. Perhaps Mr. Owen inherited them from him.
Another question for Mr. Owen.
As I remember, the rhyme was about soldier boys. Highly inappropriate, as I recall.
There are many variations.
You seem to know quite a bit about it, Miss Claythorne.
I was a governess before seeking secretarial work. Governesses spend a lot of time with nursery rhymes.
All gratuitously gruesome, if you ask me. So much violence in the world today.
Sometimes violence is necessary, Miss Brent.
There speaks a soldier for you.
A realist, Miss Brent, not a dreamer. If action needs to be taken, I, for one, am fully prepared to take it.
How does the famous rhyme go, Miss Claythorne?
Must we harp on this topic at dinner?
Miss Brent may be right, Mr. Marston. The rhyme is a bit gruesome. It's there over the fireplace in the parlour if you care to have a look later.
If you think so.
Excellent meal, Rogers. My compliments to both you and your good woman. You've done your employers proud.
Thank you, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Most gratifying, I'm sure.
Ooh, here we go.
After dinner,
in
drinks
the
will be
parlour.
served in the front parlour.
Drinks in the parlour.
Ladies and gentlemen, silence please. This is your host, UN Owen. You are charged with the following indictments. Edward George Armstrong, that you did upon the 14th day of March 1925 cause the death of Louisa Mary Cleese. Emily Caroline Brent, that upon the 5th of November 1931 you were responsible for the death of Beatrice Taylor. William Henry Blore, that you brought about the death of James Stephen Landor on October 10th, 1928. Vera Elizabeth Claythorne, that on the 11th day of August 1935, you killed Cyril Ogilvy Hamilton. Philip Lombard, that upon a date in February 1932, you were guilty of the death of 21 men, members of an East African tribe. John Gordon Mackenzie, that on the 4th of January 1917, you deliberately sent your wife's lover, Arthur Richmond, to his death. Anthony James Marston, that upon the 14th day of November last, you were guilty of the murder of John and Lucy Combs. Thomas Rogers and Ethel Rogers, that on the 6th of May 1929, you brought about the death of Jennifer Brady. Lawrence John Wargrave, that upon the 10th day of June 1934, you were guilty of the murder of Edward Seaton. Prisoners at the bar, have you anything to say in your defense?
Doctor! I only fainted, Rogers. I'm sure she'll be fine. Narracott, you get my bag from my room? Yes, of course. Stout fellow.
Wow.
Master, in a moment I'll want help to get
that
into
was
her room.
Epic. That was absolutely...
Behind the kitchen, is it, Rogers?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You can use that door.
Oh, Lord, that was insane. I love that. Oh, they'd all be panicking. Imagine having all that read out. Oh, God. Okay, which one was the doctor's room again? I think this one. Yes, this one. Oh, God. Oh, that was incredible. Just hearing him speaking. Oh, so good. All right, we're into this game now. We are well into it now. What do they say? Oh, by the stairs, right? The door. Okay. Oh man! Wow. That incredible. They'd be shitting themselves. Oh, this is fucking great. I fucking love this game.
Perhaps we can talk later. For now, I must see to my patient.
Yes. Here's your bag, doctor. Poor thing.
Thank you, Mr. Narracott. I am in your debt. Perhaps we can talk later. For now, I must see to my patient.
Okay, you see to your patient. We're gonna go back to the parlour and we're gonna talk to people to see what the fuck just happened, because I can just imagine that parlour is buzzing right now. I'm not talking about the bees. Oh wow. Such an epic moment. Love that scene. Love that scene in the book.
Now, Rogers, tell us about that extraordinary voice.
It was Mr. Owen, sir. In his letter, he wrote to me to put it on the gramophone once you were all settled in here after dinner.
That was Mr. Owen's voice?
You doubt that it was?
No. I thought I recognized it. I'm sure I'm mistaken.
A disgraceful practical joke.
You think it was a joke?
What else could it be?
I will need to hear more evidence before offering an opinion.
Mr. Marston and I carried Mrs. Rogers to her room. I gave her a mild sedative. She's resting comfortably.
Whoever it was on that recording, that person knows or has taken the trouble to find out a good deal about us all. He was correct about Seton. I presided at the trial, but all I did was execute a guilty man.
Or did you?
I remember the case. As I recall, there was some talk.
Happily, guilt and innocence are decided by those of us qualified to make a judgment, not by gossip. Of course, there is one omission in that recording. Mr. Narracott, of course. Although to hear Mr. Blore tell it, he might have earned a place on that list had Mr. Owen been so
I
inclined.
wasn't supposed to be here. Brother was. Supposed to drop you guys off, so he's up. Any truth to that accusation against you?
Any truth to the accusation against you? It's a matter of interpretation, you understand. But I'd have to say, yes.
Wow. Will you tell me what happened?
Will you tell me how it happened? Elderly woman. Poor devil. I'd been up all night with an emergency case. My nerves were shot, hands shaking. But I had to operate. I had to try and save her. I had a pick-me-up or two to steady myself, but I bungled it. It wasn't the drink, I swear. It was an accident. Could have happened to anyone in my profession.
It's rough. What brought you here to Shipwreck Island? We've already read his note. Let's see if he lies to us.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island? Owen sent me a note, asking me to have a look at his wife, who's been suffering from arthritis and muscle spasms.
He's on the level. So what was that gossip?
What was the gossip concerning the Seton case? I'm not one to spread gossip to just anyone about a man as distinguished as Justice Wargrave. If I was certain about it, perhaps. But I'm not. Thank you for your time, Doctor.
Need to earn his trust, and then ask him again later. Oh, that should be a part of this. Oh god, okay. So, any truth?
Any truth to the accusation against you? The name sounded vaguely familiar. I expect it will come to me.
Probably someone you ran over, you fucking fool.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island? Got a wire from a pal of mine, Badger Barkley. Surprised me at the time because I had an idea the old horse had gone to Norway. Told me to roll up here. That will be all, Marston.
Okay.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
It's true we were the only ones there the night Miss Brady died. But she was always in poor health. Always. From the time we came to her.
Will you tell me how it happened?
There was a storm, as fierce as the one brewing outside right now when she was taken bad. The telephone was out of order. I went for the doctor on foot, but he got there too late.
Were you mentioned in the will?
Barely. Certainly not what we were led to believe. She was just saying it, you see, to ensure our devotion to her. Beg pardon. I'm not sure what came over me just then. The strain of tonight, I expect, and worry over Mrs. Rogers, of course.
That was a little slip of the tongue there, wasn't it?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
We expected to finally meet Mr. and Mrs. Owen today. Ethel didn't want to take the job, but I insisted. I'm beginning to wish I'd listened to her.
Very kind of you to give me your time, Mr. Rogers.
Oh yeah, we have to walk all the way around. Or we can talk to anyone.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
I remember Seaton perfectly well. Playwright, charged with the murder of a chorus girl. He was found guilty, hung himself in his cell 3 days later, saved the Crown the expense of doing it for him.
Good evening, Judge. Any truth to the accusation against you?
About that child, Cyril Hamilton. I was nursery governess to him.
Will you tell me how it happened?
I'd like to tell you. Cyril was forbidden to swim out far. One day, my attention was distracted. I couldn't get there in time. It was awful. But it wasn't my fault. At the inquest, the coroner exonerated me. Oh, and his mother. She was so kind. If she didn't blame me, why should this awful thing be said?
Are you sure you're telling me everything?
I'm telling you all I'm going to, Mr. Narracott.
Oh, okay.
What brought you here to Shipwreck
Okay
Island?
then.
I was engaged through the Skilled Women's Agency to be Mrs. Owen's personal secretary for the remainder of the summer. Then I hope to return to teaching.
A pleasure as always, Miss Claythorne.
Yes, thank you.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Fellow got hold of a detestable rumor, nothing more. Arthur Richmond was one of my officers. I sent him on a reconnaissance, he was killed. Natural course of events in wartime.
I am indebted to you for your help, General Mackenzie.
Okay, and what about you, Lombard?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
I admit it's a ghastly story, but I can't say it's wrong. Owen did his research well. The accusation is absolutely true.
Okay, how did it happen?
Will you tell me how it happened?
It was written up in the papers at the time. A story of self-preservation, pure and simple. A hunting party lost in the bush. The great white hunter checks the food supplies, assesses his chances, and clears out on his own.
Leaving 21 men to die.
Not very Puka Sahib, I'm afraid.
Wow. Wow, okay.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Owen's attorney, a man named Archibald Morris, rang up one day. Wanted to give me 100 guineas to join this house party. I was to put myself at Owen's disposal in case my rather specialized talents were required.
Yeah, what would those be? Is this taken?
What specialized talents would those be?
You might say I'm a good man in a scrap.
Thanks for your time, Mr.
Certain
Lombard.
skills, huh?
I copied the contents into my notebook.
I thought I already did that. I don't know what that black square is. It's bugging me though. I feel like it's gonna come and bite me later. Haven't talked to this lot.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Look, Narracott, if that's what you want to call yourself. The rules have changed. Can't you see that? The past is past. It's the present we should be worrying about. Something is not right here.
You're telling me, mate.
Will you tell me how it happened?
All right. Perhaps I was doing the odd favor for the Purcells. But if your brother was framed, I had nothing
Course
to
you
do
were.
with it. Yes, they paid me to perjure myself about Landor. Thanks to them, I was able to put enough away to set up my own detective agency. Nothing fancy, but I've been straight ever since, I swear.
Landor died.
He got penal servitude for life and died in Dartmoor a year later. Not my fault he was such a delicate man.
You're a bit of a prick, buddy.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I run a little detective agency in Plymouth these days. I'm on a job to protect Mrs. Owen's jewels, the letter said. Mrs. Owen, my foot. I don't believe there's any such person.
That is all for now, Mr. Bloor.
And lastly, Miss...
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Beatrice Taylor was in service with me. Not a nice girl, as I found out too late. Loose. No morals whatsoever.
Hey.
Will you tell me how it happened?
It was some time before I found out she was what they call in trouble. Her parents were decent folk, too. I'm glad to say they did not condone her behavior when I told them of it.
What happened to Beatrice?
Naturally, I did not keep her an hour under my roof. No one shall ever say that Emily Brent condoned immorality.
How did she die?
Not content with having one sin on her conscience, she committed a still graver sin. She took her own life, threw herself in the river. If she had behaved like a decent young woman, she'd be alive today.
Oh, shut
have no
your
regrets?
mouth.
She made an excellent breakfast. I miss that. Fresh juice every day.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I received a letter with a signature that was not very easy to read. It purported to be from a woman I'd met at a certain summer resort 2 or 3 years ago. I am quite certain I have never met or become friendly with anyone of the name of Owen.
So why did you come?
I overheard you mention St. Trednick to Miss Claythorne.
I was staying at a seaside hotel near St. Trednick this same week of August 4 years ago. That boy Cyril Hamilton drowned near there. It was the talk of the town. His half-brother was much older. Hugo, I think his name was. Cyril was a vile child, by all accounts, but first in line for the family
Jeez.
title and estates. When he died, it all went to Hugo. He was just about Miss Claythorne's age. There was talk of something between them.
You're suggesting Vera let the boy drown so the man she loved could inherit?
That would be idle gossip. I don't indulge in idle gossip. I've only told you the facts of the case as I remember them.
That is all, Miss Brent.
Obviously, I've spoken to everyone, right? There's no...
I don't think he's in the mood for conversation.
Yeah.
I have more important things to do than chat.
Alright, let's go. So, maybe the good doctor?
I have nothing more to say to him.
Yeah, maybe I should go talk to, I'll go check on Mrs. Rogers. Something I can do in here? No. This door's locked still. No, it's not. Ooh, a library.
It's a book holder. Seems like a long time since it's been used.
Interesting, interesting. Sticklehaven.
Sticklehaven. Hopefully I'll live to see the place again.
Some kind of make these waters unsafe for swimming.
That's Shipwreck Island. Those currents appear quite deadly.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Over here. Yes. Take that. Don't know what for, but I'll take this as well.
The drawer is locked.
It's locked. The map. Alright, so we've got a card.
This could use a closer look.
Powerful friends. Want to shine some light on the matter. Flowery speeches may win you a few friends.
This bears a closer look.
Okay, we got a map here. The house, jetty, there's a grotto, ruined village, orchid and apiary. There's also shipwrecks on them.
Nothing else to see about that.
Okay,
I can't see anything of interest. There is no cause for that. They don't get along.
fair. Very fair. So this is signed Owen, so
The drawer is locked.
one's locked. Let's read this again. This looks...
This could use a closer look.
Yeah, this is a clue. Powerful friends want to shine some light on the matter. Glowing speeches may win you a few friends. What's that mean? Some light too. Everything on the desk. What's this? Oh. A diary.
Normally, I would never violate someone's privacy this way. However, given the circumstances, I will examine the entries for clues and transcribe any passages I find pertinent.
There. whole section of the house really isn't important to me anymore. I rarely venture past the games room. Despite the feeble protests, I know he wouldn't really want me invading his private sanctum. Really. Could not find a more cliched way to conceal a secret passageway. I wonder if Elmer has any sense at all. He might as well live at sea, the only place where he seems in control of his faculties. Truly, the albatross is the most graceful bird in motion. The photograph does it absolutely no justice. Most other birds turn up on this benign fly speck of an island to look completely absurd flitting about. I must get away from here. I feel cooped up. If Elmer doesn't change his ways, and soon he may discover how like an albatross I can be. Elmer tried to get me on the schooner again this afternoon. I barely made it to the dock. Absurd, really, but I feel as if the entire ocean were a gaping bottomless pit. Any boat, no matter how large or seaworthy, is still more than just a leaf. Little more than just a leaf being sucked into that smothering darkness at any moment. Elmer can be stubborn, but at least he gives in to reason eventually. Selling the house to Gabrielle Steele, the actress, and moving back to the mainland. Though I dread the ensuing trip across the channel, I told him I could certainly bear it knowing I never have to go near another island. Of course, it was just like Elmer to point out that England is an island. Very funny. Cannot say how much taken with Miss Steele. She sauntered through the house today as if she already owned it, practically ignoring us. She came with two small bookish men, followed her around like lapdogs. One of them was furiously taking notes as the diva dictated her grandiose plans for parts of the house, making no secret of her dislike of certain aspects, my precious birds, and her ideas for remodeling. Her screening room? I can imagine her spending countless hours in there, watching her own films and basking in her own brilliance. What's this about a secret passageway? What is this? Navigating the Panama.
I transcribed the pertinent passages in my notebook.
Okay. Put this up on the screen for a little bit. I'm not going to read this one out because I feel like this is just a technical puzzly one. What?
That looks like the jetty here on the island. He looks quite happy. She a little less so.
So that must be the Robsons. The Robsons. Surely I gotta pull. Whoop. Just take books.
I transcribed the pertinent passages in my notebook.
Beautiful. And this one?
I transcribed the pertinent passages in my notebook.
What did the diary say about the secret passage? Hang on. Wait, wrong book. Interesting. What's in the book here? So many books.
I transcribed the pertinent passages in my notebook.
We'll read these later. We'll do a little bit more exploring for the next 10 minutes. I think we'll go talk to Mrs. Rogers. We'll at least try to. Just to see if she's okay. And then, yeah.
Now is not the time for chatter.
You know what? Fair call. Fair call. Where else can we go? There is that other door in the games room we could check out. See if that's open. Secret passage. Where would that be? Oh, that's for a bookcase.
Locked.
Move the book. It's a cliche. Alright, look, I'm going to leave that episode there, guys. But we have started the night. We're going to get to the bottom of this. This is... I'm going to love this game so much. It's a little slow at the start, especially because we've got to, interview people and find out what the hell is going on, but it's still fun, right? Anyway, I'll leave it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and again, I am pumped to be playing this game. Catch you later.